right, we are back in action. Congrats to Wild Turkey, which is appropriate as one of the Flovatar OGs. He won the Flovatar Rumble, so super rad.
Bow, 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 bow.
Yeah, nailed it. So we got the full Flovatar squad in the house, and I just want to shout out. We had Lone Star Smoker. He actually came to Maui during this time, and I was actually able to hang out with Don for our second meet and greet, which we had our first one in New York. Sorry, Chaos. Sorry, Luca. He's now in the leaderboard for Jimbo meetups.
What up, Jim?
Oh,
Yeah, good times, man. Good times
What's
always,
up,
Skiba.
my friends? We got we got Chaos, Lone Star, and we got the man himself, Luca. I'm super stoked to have all you in here. So let's get right into it. So we got Flovatar in the building. Luca, you want to just give us a little overrun for the new peeps in here? I'm gonna go ahead and run a little giveaway in the chat there for you. So just go ahead and let us know a little high overview of what Flovatar is.
Yeah, hello everyone, and so good to be here. Thanks for having us. It's always nice to be here with you. And yeah, Flovatar started in December 21, and it's a new take on NFT. We are always trying to experiment with something new, and our main difference lies in the builder that allows you to create your own Flovatar however you want. So instead of getting a pre-minted random combination, you go in the builder and you can select everything: the body, the clothing, the eyes, the hairs, and so on. And you're guaranteed to have a unique combination, so nobody will have the same combination like you. And on top of that, we have the awesome Flobits that are accessories that are separate NFTs that your Flovatar can equip. So we have eyeglasses, hats, backgrounds, and general accessories that you can equip on your Flovatar. You can put them on and off depending on the season or the occasion. And yeah, and from then with over time we expanded many more things. We made the pre-sale for the FAB and the islands. That is our expansion into creating our own megaverse where people will be able to put all their collections on their islands, and they will be able to create their own NFTs and sell it to other people thanks to the Flovatar Universe Builder. But most importantly, now we're releasing the dust token that is opening also new utilities for Flovatars, like giving a name, writing a story, downloading the 3D model for your Flovatar so you can print it at home, and then especially create new series of NFT like the Psyche Likey, that are the Flovatar companions that are super cute and that work in a similar way, but you can mint them only with a dust token that is earned by the Flovatar every day. So yeah, that's in a nutshell.
Well, if you could see my notes, I just have dust circled like 500 times. but I'll be easy and I'll kind of go into it. Obviously, Luca, for those that don't know, this again, another OG project on Flow. I've always been an admirer of the creativity that you're allowing the average Joe to have, which is to equip traits onto a NFT to create customized, one of ones in a sense, right? And so I want to talk a little bit about why that's so important. And I think I hate to say that it's the most underrated part of the project, but I think it is. I remember the spaceship days where we were testing this stuff on testnet. I'm honored to have been a part of that, and I think that was my favorite part of the entire thing back when, was that you have a technology to sort through all of the different combinations, and it will not allow you to duplicate a Flovatar. So you're allowing people to create one-of-one NFTs that are personalized, all with buying traits, and it's all on chain, which again is so important to me. So can you touch a little bit about why you think that's important?
Yeah, that's a very, very good point, because it's really touches the core of what Flovatar is, I think. And I always want to remember that I really didn't mean any Flovatar at all, beside the ones I own myself or that I did. But what I did instead, in the packs you found the Spark of Life, that is this potential form of a Flovatar. But then all the 6,000 plus Flovatar that have been minted and the 3,000, 4,000 that will come in the future have been created by people. So every one of you, every Flovatar community member spent time on the builder, tried the combination, put a creative effort in finding the right combination that spoke to them, and that it's such a different approach from let's open a pack and see what we got and what the computer decided for us or what fate decided for us. Instead, there is a whole different process, a creative process that it's really, really important, and it makes it much more personal, and I think it creates a totally different attachment. I see them also like you make a tattoo and you remember of an event or something that you did, and when you see that Flovatar, you remember things that brought you to create that specific Flovatar. So that's definitely the part I like the most, the creative community effort of each Flovatar, and it's incredible also that what people come up with and ideas that are being developed over time. It started like with the Gray Gang, that was a group of Flovatar that were all gray that I didn't expect to become to become a thing. Or then we had the hobos that became a thing in the midnight, and many other genre that that created out of people's creativity, and that's the best thing for me. And even new Flobits that we introduced that came from people's idea, people's drawing, and we really try to have the community at the center and let them decide what direction we should go and what we should evolve into. And yeah, that's the best part for me.
Absolutely. I think that creativity is just, again, going back to the philosophies of Web3, intellectual property protection, transparency, and one of mine is favorite is to encourage the children to create. And I think your project is such a cool example, right?
Yeah.
And I think I know a lot of the community members have had their children create them, and I think it's just so cool. And now, I want to kind of dive in. Well, first, let me digress. How cool is that? That you see your
Yeah.
community members, C3P Flow just posted that their 4-year-old minted that. Can you just get heartwarming with us for a second, Luca, and just tell us what that feels like to know that your community is having
Yeah.
their children mint this idea from you?
Yeah, so and one thing to remember for those that don't know is that actually Flovatar Meet number one was created by my 6 then year old daughter. Now it's 7-year-old, but yeah, it was also the initiated all from children, and she helped me also in the development of Flovatar. She gave me suggestions and everything, and I think it's one of the most rewarding thing because it means that. It touches a part of creativity that the children have in a very pure form. And if they get it, if they play with it, if they enjoy it, it means that we definitely are getting something right. And that's definitely one of the most rewarding thing, seeing in their eyes the joy, and when they play with it, it's definitely the one of the most beautiful thing. And we want to, in some way, we are our audience is definitely adults, so we're not specifically made for children, but we want to keep an eye on them as well. So in the builder, after a couple of months, I also introduced a child safe button, so it hides like I don't know, like the joints and stuff like that that are not good for children.
That's really
So
cool.
we wanted to make it a safe place for them to play as well. So yeah, that's one little thing we did for them as well, and yeah, that's really, really nice to have them enjoy Flovatar as well.
Yeah, and like you said, I think it's just a testament to what you're trying to build, which is creativity and just letting people kind of like feel like they have some assimilation to their character. I mean, I know Eric shouted you out earlier. It is just really cool to be able to kind of make characters that kind of like are your vibe. And I'll drop a couple of mine that are definitely my vibe. And I do want to shout out. I man, I'm vibing really hard right now, and I'm gonna give away a spark. So I'm gonna throw that into the giveaway, the spark of life.
Woohoo!
So I'm gonna give away a spark of life to anyone in the AMA, to someone in the AMA. So keep your eye on the giveaway channel. But I do want to shift gears. We want to talk the next step of Flovatar, which was then the FUB. So can you talk a little bit about the FUB and how that's seemingly going to work?
Yeah, absolutely. So we came to a point where we saw so many applications for what we build with the builder, the floater builder, with the concept of layers and giving the ability to people to create their own NFTs however they want. We saw that the potential was so big, but we were becoming the bottleneck because we couldn't do everything. And at the same time, it would have been a waste to keep the technology just for the few things that we could develop. Um, so we decided to create the Flovatar Universe Builder that basically it's abstracting what you see right now in the Flovatar Builder and give it into the hand of anyone to create their own NFT series in the same way we do with Flovatar. So you can go in, you can create your different layers. It can be a character, so with body, hairs, nose, etc. But it can be something totally different. It can be a car, so you can have engine, wheels, etc. Or it can be something totally abstract, like a painting or whatever. So it's very, very flexible. And then you create the different traits, like you see in Flovatar, and you set the parameters like price, rarities, etc. And once you are ready, once everything is finalized, you publish the collection. And at that point, anyone will be able to come to your FAB, your landing page. You can see the collection, and you can make one NFT with the builder that you created by selecting all the different traits. And they will buy NFTs from you. You will get 90% of the revenues, and 10% will go to the market revenues, the market fee. But I think it's going to be an amazing way for unleashing the potential of the builder and giving it into the hands of anyone who is interested in being even more creative, making that step further and showing their creativity, and they will be rewarded for it, hopefully in a really nice way. So yeah, I'm super excited to start the development of the FAB. At the beginning, we wanted to work in parallel with Dust and the FAB, but pretty soon I saw that it wasn't really working. So we decided to focus on the Dust token. That was the first thing that we had wanted to release. And now that it's about to be released, we will go full on the FAB development. So in the coming weeks and months, you will see many updates, both on the UI, the design, but also in the code. And if you have a voucher for if you bought a voucher on the pre-sale with the Terra Kit, you will have access to the beta version of the FAB. So you will be able to start preparing your own collection. You will be able to be among the first ones to be there for day one, so that when we launch, you will be among the very first one to be in our market. And yeah, we're super excited to start developing it, and it's going to be a new phase for Flovatar, and it's going to open up a lot of possibilities.
You know, I think when you say a new phase for Flovatar, so far, the new phases for Flovatar have blown me away ever since. So no pressure, Luca. You just have this huge, stream of, or line of successes that to follow on. I'm really excited to kind of talk about the next one then, which is the ever so awaited Dust. Now, I do want to preface this by saying that if I can't buy a bottle of Don Julio 1942 with Dust, then I'm out. So
Well, we can
little
make a
inside joke.
Flobit of that. We
You
make
know
a
what?
flow bit of that, and
Actually,
then
I need a flow bit of 1942 because full
yeah.
disclosure, when with all this influencer stuff, I have to make a full disclosure. The literal only reason I support Luca is because he had an open bar with 1942. So I'm guilty. I took a bribe. It was all 1942. I'm sorry, everybody. I'm guilty. No, in all seriousness, man, I'm really excited because you guys will be the first project that I was involved in or interested in that would come out with their own token to actually be able to purchase like physical items and stuff like that. Is that still what we're looking at with Dust? Can you kind of give us a little overview? And I know that it involves the DAO and stuff like that. So I know it's a complicated issue, so subject. So I don't want to bog everybody down, but let's dive into
Yeah,
it a little
yeah.
bit, and we can go from there.
No, absolutely. So the dust token is the token that each Flovatar can claim every day, and it will be distributed over a time of 10 years, and it will be the central part of the Flovatar economy. So pretty much everything we'll develop and will be paid or will be used by burning a dust token. We have a maximum amount of 500 million dust token that will be distributed over 10 years, but they will be burned for every time the user will use them. So it's going to be a deflationary system. So they will become more and more scarce over time. That's the idea. So there was a long development phase for the dust token because we wanted to really provide a lot of utilities for it, because without utilities, there isn't really much meaning to have a token, in my point of view. So on one side, we have many utilities attached to the Flovatars themselves, because you will be able to give extra abilities and will be able to power them up in some way, because you will be able to assign a name to your Flovatar that will be also unique and will be guaranteed for you to be unique. You will be able to write stories, so short bio stories that you will be able to keep adding. And it's going to be interesting also to see how people will start part of the story, and then they will pass on the Flovatar to someone else, and they will keep writing things, and everything is stored on the blockchain. So who knows, maybe in 100 years we will have a generation story written on the blockchain. It's going to be interesting to see. The third thing is the location. So you will be able to put your Flovatar on a map to say where you are. And the fourth one, probably one of my favorites, is that you will be able to download the 3D model of your Flovatar. So right now, everything it's an SVG that it's stored on chain. It's a vectorial image, but over time we developed also the 3D models for each Flovatar. So you will be able to download the high quality 3D model. What you see on the website as a preview, it's a low poly model, but with the dust token, you will be able to download the high quality 3D model. And if you have a 3D printer at home, you can print it and you can hold your Flovatar in your hand in 3D. And it's a really, really cool experience. If once you will be able to have it in your hands, because it's something that you made, and in some way you feel really the creator, and seeing it finally in your hand, it's a really nice feeling. So this is one part that is going to be improving your existing Flovatar. Then the other part that it's really important is about the new Dust series. So like Flovatars, we're going to introduce new characters and new things as well, not just characters. And we started with the Psyche that are the companions of Flovatars, and you will see them soon in the story world, who they are and how they fit in our story world. But the idea is that they will be one of the many more series that will come. And it works really simply with a builder, just like Flovatar. You just select the traits that you like the most, you make the combination that you like the most, and then it will come out a dust price that you will have to pay. and just by burning that amount of dust, you will receive back a brand new NFT, a brand new Psyche for your collection to become a companion of your Flovatar, or just to have it in your collection however you want. So this will be one more utility for the dust token. Then there will be many more that will come over time. One that I've been thinking about lately is making a copy of your Flovatars on the Bitcoin blockchain. There is a new thing on the Bitcoin blockchain that is going on lately. It's called Ordinals. And it's similar to NFTs, but they work a bit differently. The nice thing is that you store also all the image and all the data on chain, on the Bitcoin blockchain. And I minted already the Flovatar #1. I moved it to the Bitcoin blockchain. So I envision also, for example, burning dust to get in exchange a copy of your Flovatar on the Bitcoin blockchain, that is the most prestigious blockchain of all. And then, like you were mentioning, also we are thinking about integrating also into what we are preparing. The Flova shop is a store to buy merchandise, but not just merchandise, and all kind of things. So yeah, we're gonna try to integrate it in there as well with physical things, but for now we don't want to promise too much on that front, because yeah, so many moving parts are involved that yeah, it's better to take one step at a time.
You know, I can always appreciate that. You've been an under promise, over deliver kind of person entirely. I do have a question from the audience. I'm not sure what you could touch on or not. They were saying that, you know, they're hoping you were invested and you had investment. And I was curious if you could talk a little bit about, were you able to secure some funding for the future of the project, or if you could talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so we are still in talks with VCs. We had different phases. We have 3 investors that are already interested and offered to participate in the round. We're still looking at the lead investor, so it's still in process. We had a very early angel investor that was Way, actually, just before we launched. So he's been one of the very, very early supporters. But beyond that, no, we are still bootstrap, let's say. But I think finances are fine, because thankfully the burn rate, it's under control. We didn't went crazy with expenditures and everything. So of course the flow going down so much and all that happened affected us like anyone else. But we are in really pretty solid base, and we'll keep moving forward. Of course, if we will be able to secure an investment that will allow us to speed up a lot the development and hire more people and grow even bigger. But even if we don't achieve that, we are fine, and we will keep working on our thing. And yeah.
Yeah, and that's all, and that's absolutely the bottom line I could say about you, my friend. Is if you do hashtag best friends and you get that picture of Luca and I, you could tell it's been a blast knowing you, and ever since I've just been amazed by your vision, and not even that, just the way you hold yourself, and it's honestly really fun to see this project having been in since the beginning, see it change. I definitely want to touch a little bit on like kind of the relationship you see, and this is just kind of a personal question. You don't have to respond as the person in the company or anything, but what were your thoughts on Doodles coming over? Did you notice some, like, do you have some similarities with them, or how could you kind of see yourself working with them alongside of Doodles? Is it something you talked about as a team? Just any insight you have on that.
Yeah, absolutely. No, yeah, with Doodles, I of course while I was launching Flovatar, they recently launched a few weeks or months before, so I heard about them, but then I was so busy that I didn't follow too much. Then over time, I learned more about them, and because of the pack that was very similar to ours, and we were making jokes and stuff like that, but I think in a funny and nice way. And then when it started, the rumor started, I think in NYC, NFT NYC last year, that they may come to Flow. So it was started to become an interesting conversation. And then finally discovered that they recently that they announced that they were coming over. But to my surprise, I also learned that VRTech was doing all the tech, and I was super happy about it because he's a very good friend. So we could also share a little bit the knowledge and the experience about what he was doing with what also I was doing that he knows very well. And yeah, we had really great chats about also how we can work together, trying to define also a new standard for defining composable NFTs, so that you can wear like you do a Flobit can be a Flovatar can wear a Flobit in a similar way. A Doodle has its own wearables. So we thought it would be nice to define some standard events, some standard methods that we could both agree that could make the ecosystem better, and places like Find or other marketplaces life easier, so that they can see exactly if one NFT has something in it, like a Flowbit, or all detect all these type of events to understand what's going on better and in a more standard way. So yeah, I'm super happy to. We are at very early stages of working on this and defining what's needed. But yeah, it's super exciting to work with them and to work with VRTech to to define something that maybe one day will be used by other projects as well, and could become a general standard used in Flow.
Absolutely. I think general standard is a good way to describe kind of the path you've taken thus far. And again, you kind of mentioned with the finances being good, you had a lot of pressure selling out instantly. It was quite the amount of funds coming in. That's got to be a little overwhelming, stressful, exciting, all at the same time. I wanted to dive into the brain of Luca for just a few moments, and I want you to take us emotionally, physically, mentally, just kind of what that was like going from selling out so fast to the hype train, and then carrying it on to like now to where you got the fub coming, you have dust coming. I mean, what's this journey been like for Luca? It's got to be just so fun to have gone through all this.
Well, yeah, it's been a roller coaster. It's an understatement, because yeah, it's been really full of so many emotions, so many excitements, and everything. And the biggest thing, more than the actual money or the value in general, or the floor price or whatever monetary thing you want to attach to it, that it's obviously very important. But for me, the biggest emotional experience was seeing the community grow and seeing it be there, the core being always there supporting me, and always understanding if maybe we had 1 or 2 months delay. They believing in us, and I think this was the biggest accomplishment, the biggest achievement that I could ever hope for. And seeing so many people believing in what we're building, and yeah, saying so many nice things is definitely the biggest thing for me, because that fills your heart, and gives you the energy to go forward and to develop more and to spend 10, 12 hours per day working and doing code and meeting and all kinds of things. And I started, my core is obviously more developer, but then being the CEO, you start doing so many things and you have to separate your time in so many different things that sometimes it's harder to be able to follow with everything properly. But over time, I think I learned many things, and I'm super happy to have done the whole experience in the ups and in the downs as well, because you learn something in every phase. And if we are here now, it's because of everything, not just the good things, but also the bad ones. So yeah, it's definitely a life experience that you can compress like 10 years in in one, probably, with all the things that happened. But yeah, super happy to have lived it, and yeah, looking forward for the next 10, 20 or more, who knows.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, no, it's been a fun ride to watch. Again, like I said, I've enjoyed myself thoroughly. I've seen like people have done like Flovatar coffee chickism set, and if chickism will not leave me alone if I don't ask you about the S. This better be good, by the way.
The S. The S, it's gonna come hopefully mid-April. You will know more about the S, but I really can't say more right now. I can give you a range of date,
Your
but
team is in here going, no, don't do it.
no. I really can't. I have to stop here because yeah,
Nice try,
that's
chick.
about
I
really
like it.
maximum. But yeah,
He said, spill it.
but yeah,
Oh, that's
Ciao.
uh-oh. We got some leaks. Come on, Lone Star. You know what? I'm gonna go grab a beer with Lone Star on Monday. Trick question. He's not gonna be there. No, I just want to say, I wanted to ask you. We actually just had the giveaway poll, Ravenor with another dub. That's what you get. Amazing 5 flow. I'm giving away the Spark, and we're also giving away one from you guys is one standard pack and one Flobit. So make sure you're going to hit those giveaways. You got to be in the AMA to win it. So really stoked about that. I do want to talk a little bit about kind of like your involvement with collaborations, right? You're a very collaborative project. You work with a lot of these different projects, and I've seen you make Flobits for people and stuff like that. Very similar to Dimension X, right? When I was talking to Mike earlier, I love that. I love that interactivity you have with the community, right? And so, can you talk a little bit about, obviously you're encouraging the community to create their own stuff with the FUB and stuff like that. Are we gonna be able to ever create our own flow bits, or how is that gonna work?
yeah, because actually the idea behind the FUB is that the the NFT that will come out from the FUB that you create will be composable as well. So the idea is that you will be able to encapsulate the Flovatar inside this NFT, and it will become like an accessory in a way. So the possibilities are really unlimited, and we are working to define exactly what the, the limitations the structure should be, because if you make it too open, too wide, then it becomes just a mess. So you have to give at least some structure. But the idea is that everything will be composable, and any NFT that comes out of a FUB will be possible to compose with each other, and then also to put a Flovatar in it, so that it will become an accessory effectively. Yeah.
That's rad. Yeah, you don't want to give me that power. I have some really good ideas. uh, yeah. So I know the dust token's coming up. Is there? I know, I know the S is coming up in mid-April, whatever the hell that is. But I wanted to give you an opportunity to talk. Like, obviously this is one of my favorite questions to ask creators is where do you see, and you can leave out the specifics of anything you don't want to leak obviously, but in an ideal world, where do you see the Flovatar conversation going in about 6 months from now? When people are talking about Flovatar, what do you anticipate kind of that conversation going like? What are people most excited about? What do you kind of see that theme of that conversation being?
Hmm. Yeah, I think our I would love to see expand in two areas. One, it's our own story world that, thanks to all the hard work with Jenna and Spencer and anyone on the team, Chaos, but really anyone on the team has been helping with this. I think it's gonna really start creating our own franchise where all the characters will start to fit together, not just Flovatars, but the Psyche-Likey, the Flobots, etc. So I see that expanding a lot in one area, and then the other main area is the technology. So reusing the builder with the fab, but also licensing and reusing the concept, the technology in many more application. So seeing it more around, seeing many more projects taking our approach is also something I really hope to see in the coming months and years, and that will mean again that we were on the right path and we are into something. And yeah, being the first ones, it's gonna help because we will be hopefully always one step ahead and always developing something more in that direction.
Luca, I can't say enough how appreciative personally I am of all the hard work you put into this space. The innovation is just honestly, it's a pleasure to watch. You know, apparently with all these damn influencer lawsuits coming out, I have to say it every 15 minutes, not financial advice. But man, I've been in love with your vision from the very beginning, and you haven't skipped a beat. And anybody that's followed you along this path can agree with me, can have share that same sentiment. There's been ups and downs in this blockchain with various projects, various communities. There has not been a skip of a beat with Flovatar. I've held strong.
Mhm.
I'll continue to hold strong, uh, in just the sense
Thank
that
you.
I love to see what you're doing for the future. You're an innovator. Keep going, man. I swear to God,
Uh,
you're like this team that you're like, all right, they got to lose a game here and there. Like, come on, wow, how do they keep winning? So I genuinely am behind you, man. Anything I can ever do to
Thank
help it
you.
is just so much fun and a
Uh,
pleasure. Go check out the Project Tent. I'm gonna give you just the last few minutes to tell people how they can support you and and just give your last couple statements to the 100 people that showed up today to listen.
Thank you so much, first of all, because you're really too kind and you are really a big part of the Flow community in general. You're the glue of many projects, and yeah, we as project creators, we have to thank you so much for everything you've been doing. So let me say, start with that first. And then, yeah, for anyone else interested, please join our Discord. Of course, there will be so many people ready to welcome you. Have fun with the builder, just play with it. You don't have to mint it right away, but just try it out on the flovatar.com website, explore it. We have a new explore page that lists so many things that we developed. Actually, let me share it in 1 minute because it's worth. Here on the right, you will see an explore page. And there are so many things that have been developed over time. Get started, the land sale details, a blog with so many information, the Flova Labs website that it's going to reveal our story world, mobile application with Instagram, like AR functionality to see your Flovatar in 3D, games like Angry Bird style in 3D, and so many things. A meme generator, the FUD news, Flov from Derp. Big shout out to him as well for the awesome Flov with so many information, stats, all kinds of numbers. You can find it there. C3P Flow with the bot notifying anyone about what's happening on the Flovatar world. Crying Jordan stats with all the sales, and so many more things. A wiki, showroom, treasure hunt. Yeah, we will keep adding. So yeah, there is a lot to explore. We're there to welcome you all, and thanks again for having hosted all this. And yeah, thanks again for everything.
My absolute pleasure. Definitely, we have that last giveaway. If you haven't gotten in there, there's one last giveaway. It's about to go off like in 2 minutes. It's for a standard pack and 1 Flobit. So go grab that. Have to be in the AMA to win. Shout out to Flovatar. Man, this has been a blast. I'm really excited for the near future. I'm excited for Dust. I'm excited for the Fubs. And honestly, I'm excited to get my real life. I need to get that 3D print. Okay, I need that. And and I will say, part of the reason my girlfriend is still with me is because of the Flovatar necklace I gave her, the legendary
Nice.
Nice. But yes, we are very excited. And lastly, we're excited for S. So, man, Luca, it's always a pleasure, my friend. Thank you so much for joining us. In the meantime, everybody, I'm going to toss on some music. We're going to enjoy some vibes just for a couple more minutes. And then, man, back to back, we have another home run hitter, Flunks, coming up. We have Doug Budsey out of his classroom, and he's going to join us for a nice little chat. So if you're flunking around, be sure to tune in. Again, good luck on that last minute of the giveaway. Enjoy the tunes, and we'll be back in about 5 minutes.
Thank you. Bye.